Hey guys, welcome back to the RY show. I'm Liying. We're sitting at this nice rooftop of a local mall in Shanghai. But we're still waiting out COVID-19. It might give you the illusion that everything's back to normal, but we're still careful. Even though it's really hot, we still wear a mask. Today, we're very excited to have Evan Danger joining us. Yes, Evan is one of the top bilingual comics in China. So we're so excited to have him with us. So hi, Evan.
Hey,
Thank you for joining us.
my pleasure.
So how has life been since COVID-19?
Since the end of the world, um, it's been interesting. I remember back in January, we started following the news about a viral outbreak in Wuhan right before Chinese New Year, right before the largest human mass migration in history, and kind of knew it was going to be really bad, but didn't fully comprehend how bad things would be at their peak. You know, right now I feel like things are pretty much back to normal in Shanghai. Maybe, I don't know, 80% back to normal. But yeah, other parts of China are still pretty messed up. The West is in a horrible situation. My hometown, New York City, is still terrible. But yeah, I spent most of the end of the world at home playing StarCraft and making silly videos for Billy. So
Yeah.
it wasn't all bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, Evan is one of the best content creators as a non-Chinese speaker in China. Yeah. So
I try.
yeah. How long were you trapped indoors?
I wasn't really trapped. So I was in Ukraine for Chinese New Year. It's a lot of fun. Came back and we had to do 2 weeks quarantine or 2 weeks self-isolation. It wasn't really quarantine, as in, you know, we're locked inside a house. It's not like it was in Wuhan, but basically everything was closed except for the supermarkets, and I couldn't go into my office for 2 weeks, so I was just working remotely during that time. And yeah, just like you leave the house once a day for 5 minutes to get groceries, and that's it, just to be safe. But Shanghai was never really that bad. Yeah, we got lucky here.
All right. So has your work been affected?
Work's actually been, I work in finance, so we actually benefited from the viral outbreak. We had a lot more interest from potential clients because they basically wanted to see how badly all these big Chinese companies were affected, which companies were likely to go out of business, which companies were likely to increase their profits because of shifting the entire economy online and, laying off. How many people got laid off in China? Some ridiculous amount. So yeah, knock on wood,
Yeah.
company I'm working for is actually doing better now
Yeah.
than before. So I still got a job. That's awesome.
And you've been creating videos since you were like indoors.
Yeah.
And then did you make any videos specifically about the pandemic?
One or two. One of the videos I did was just like sort of a vlog about what it's like to work from home and what your daily routines are like under quarantine. So yeah, it was just like me going about my day, doing work, then working out in my living room, and then just like my crappy cooking skills, making pasta from the import stores, and then just playing hours and hours of video games. StarCraft 2. Yeah. I actually got really good at StarCraft 2 during the holiday. I had so much time to play. I went from beginner level to elite level. Could probably beat some Korean players.
Wow,
Yeah.
good for you. You
I
should
got
go for
really
that.
good. Yeah.
All right. So, have you been following the news about the pandemic? Around the world since you have family back home.
Yeah,
then,
how can you not?
Yeah, and then, do you guys discuss? Things like how do they take it?
I remember when the first couple cases hit New York City, I just called my parents up. I'm like, listen, this is going to be really, really bad. You need to just go home right now and do not leave the house for 2 weeks. And yeah, and then New York City became the epicenter. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to know. I'm not going to check like how many cases we have now, how many deaths. But just like the way the infrastructure is set up in New York, the way the population is so dense and close together, the I guess not total disregard for sanitation, but New York's dirty. It's dirty, and there are a lot of people very close together, and no one took the virus seriously, and still people aren't taking it seriously. So it was obvious from the get-go that things were going to be really bad there. But my parents are safe. That's really all I care about. So yeah.
All right. So like when you were here, during the when it was kind of a bad here. Okay, I mean Shanghai was not really bad, but it was kind of it's not far from Wuhan. All right, were you scared? And you did go to Wuhan before, right? To do shows and stuff.
Last year. Yeah. I don't know. I wasn't really scared because that was back when things were getting bad in China. The risk was, or at least the reports were coming out that only people that are 90 years old with compromised immune systems are going to die from it. So I'm like, I don't care if I get it. I'll just drink some tea and have some Advil and I'll be fine. But then you realize how serious it actually is. And like, okay, it's not just about me. What if I infect my friend or some random old person in my xiaoqu? So then it was like, all right, I'm just going to stay inside for like a month. But yeah, I wasn't worried about my own health because I think I'm pretty healthy, but don't want to get anyone else sick.
All right. So, and how about now? I mean, like, as you were saying that life is like 80% back to normal.
Yeah.
And then, but we did have like a quite relaxing period of time. Like, is it easy or difficult for you to get back to the old kind of work life routine?
I mean, like I had my first Chinese comedy show of the year yesterday, and the first set went really bad. Not really bad, but like stuttered, forgot some jokes, my rhythm was off. Then did another show after that. It was much better. Got another show tonight. I got like 4 or 5 shows this week. So just dusting myself off a little bit, trying to remember some old tags and bits, but yeah, it's coming back.
Yeah. All right. So since you're doing like a Chinese comedy, do you put any of this COVID-19 thing in your bits? And how, like, which angle do you take it?
I mean, I feel like people in China are much more sensitive about it, so I wouldn't. And any COVID jokes I would make would have to be like PG, like the one joke I have right now is just about the security guards outside of my xiaoqu, about how like it's been so long since anyone's been sick in Shanghai that they just don't care anymore. They're very lackadaisical about temperature checks and signing people in. But that's like as far as I'm willing to go. Maybe with foreign audiences, you can make some darker jokes. I guess they'll probably be more okay with that. But for Chinese crowds, you need to sort of.
So you're quite conscious about the differences, between different crowds and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, like, this is something that you cannot change, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you just play around it. Yeah. Do you find any jokes inappropriate?
Inappropriate?
About this pandemic.
I mean, I haven't really heard any nasty, raunchy jokes about the virus. I mean, none of the comics would be making them here anyways. It's just it's a bit too close to home. Not really. I haven't heard anything.
That's
Yeah.
good. Okay, but do you think there, you know, there should be something that people should not joke about?
I mean, I think it's still a bit too soon to be joking about people dying from the from the virus. You know, it's like it's still going on around the world. So, I mean, listen, if you say something on stage, you're a comedian. That's your right to say it. I'm not gonna get pissed off or drag you off stage. But like, I don't know, I just wouldn't applaud. Wouldn't laugh.
All right. So during the sort of like a social distancing time, you were not doing any comedy online. It was just like a complete stop, was it?
Yeah. February and March, there were basically no shows. I think we started doing some smaller English shows at the end of March. I don't know, my timeline's off. I'm like, it's all just a giant blur. It's May already, right?
Yeah, it's May.
Wow. Wow.
Totally
I don't even
lost
know.
track of time. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, definitely February and early March did not do any shows at all. It was kind of nice to just relax and have like some time off and not be constantly running from club to club and trying to write new stuff and film. I could focus entirely on filming Billy stuff. But yeah, by late March, I'm like, all right, I really miss doing comedy. I really want to get back on stage, start going around the country again, maybe hit up Southeast Asia for some shows. But yeah, for now, just trying to like, get back up to speed.
All right. You have toured before, have you?
I mean, I've done some other cities. I wouldn't say tour. Like, I think a tour you got to do multiple cities, one after another. But I'll usually do weekend trips. Yeah.
Yeah. And how much longer do you think you have to wait to do that?
Realistically, I could probably get out to like Nanjing or Suzhou in the next month or so, but don't know if I want to just yet. Probably not going to leave Shanghai until the fall.
Still concerned about the whole like a safety thing, huh?
It's just maybe drawing too much attention,
Yeah.
And I don't want to get any of the other clubs in trouble for having a foreigner there without, proper temperature checks and all this stuff. So probably just basically be laying low for the next month or two.
So like during this whole time, like, do you spend more time writing, or do you have like new, inspiration and stuff? Since this is like one of the, the rare opportunities we have to really pause.
Yeah. I mean, when I'm doing videos, like I'll write out my script, I'll write out some bullet points. But when it comes to stand-up, I don't really like take time to sit down and like think of a joke and write it down. It sort of just has to be something that pops into my head, and then I'll like figure out the translations and probably ask my roommate or some other Chinese comics for help with some little additions there. And then when I have the full joke in my head, I'll write it down just so I can see the characters and have it a bit more fresh in my head. But yeah, like trying to just take time to sit down and come up with a new joke, I just can't do it. I just get really bad attention span. Just kind of zone out. Yeah.
All right. So you've been doing Chinese comedy for how long?
5 years.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Do you have new understanding of the culture, the people, and everything?
Yeah, it definitely helps. Every show you sort of figure out a new joke or a new tag or a new way to interact with the audience that'll get a laugh. So I got it down. Just trying to continually improve my Chinese. I'd love to be at like a totally fluent level one day. But it's been really good. Like last year was really, really, really good for Chinese comedy. I got to go to like 7 different cities to headline. Was doing like 45-minute sets. Had a couple sellouts, like maybe 100. I think Nanjing got like 100 people, and what was the other big show? I don't remember. They're all good. They're all solid. Oh, Changchun.
Oh, that's my
Changchun.
hometown.
Yeah. Changchun
You went
was
there? That's far.
Yeah, it was far. It was a really big show. I barely made it in time because my flight was delayed by 5 hours.
Wow.
So I literally went from the airport to the club, and then we started the show.
When was that?
I think that was April last year.
April 19?
Yeah.
Or 8? Okay.
Yeah. And the...
I was still there. I didn't know.
You're still there? You didn't know
Yeah,
about it?
yeah, I didn't know about it. Okay,
man.
would have checked it out.
Do you know Yenzhigao?
No.
Yenzhigao. He's like the local famous comedian there.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and their club is inside a mall. It's like a live house basically. Fits like 200 people. So I got there. The club was sold out. Just because like he's so famous there, they sell out pretty much every show. I did 45 minutes and like I could tell there was like a pretty big cultural and language barrier between audiences in Shanghai and like Nanjing, and then all the way up in Changchun.
Yeah.
I was like, these jokes are not working here.
Oh, really?
I was like really sweating on stage. I was like, shit, I got another half an hour to do. And they're only laughing at some of these jokes, not really. So, but I mean, that was just, it's part of doing it, you know?
Yeah,
It was
exactly.
overall good.
Good to
It was
explore.
a great trip. Got to hang out with the comics afterwards. They were all really cool. We got some nice Dongbei food.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the culture is different. The language
Yeah.
is different.
Yeah.
And then
It's just far. It's so far that like they just didn't. They weren't vibing with a lot of my jokes.
yeah.
So.
In the northeastern part, comedy is a big thing.
Yeah.
Comedy is a big thing. There are a lot of Chinese comics. Probably not like a necessarily stand up in that kind of art form, but they're Chinese comedy. So it's
What's
really
popular up there, like xiangsheng or
小品, I guess.
Mansai? Huh?
相声小品
Xiaopin, what's that?
Like short play.
Oh.
Maybe 15 minutes and involves like a bunch of people.
Okay, I've seen that
Yeah.
on TV.
Yeah. So and also some local art forms which also involve comedy. There's singing, there's dancing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's the area, and
Yeah.
that's different culture.
I miss traveling now.
Yeah, you should. But it's hard at the moment.
Yeah.
But speaking of that, I mean, like, I used to live in like Malaysia. Honestly speaking, I didn't make an effort to learn the local language because I could get by with speaking English. And then I assume when people live in other countries, there are a lot of people like me living in your comfort zone, like a bubble, and those people who can like accommodate you, and then you hang out with them. But I didn't make an effort to really, get into the local culture, but it seems like you're not living in your own bubble, and then you're doing that. So how does that feel?
It's cool. It's cool. It's like definitely got a unique perspective on things. Like right now, for foreigners performing in China, for foreigners performing stand-up comedy in Chinese, there's me and there's Jesse Appel in Beijing, and that's it. So like not many people have the same experiences and I guess understanding of different aspects of Chinese culture as we do. But I'm just happy to see stand-up comedy growing. I mean, it's like technically a Western art form, but it's just catching on. It's getting more and more popular with the younger people here. Like all the shows that we do. Like, I mean, yesterday at the Chinese show I was at, we had like one IE, like 50-year-old. I think she was there with her kid or something. But otherwise, it's all like college kids and like young adults. So I don't know. I guess the Xiangsheng crowd is older at this point. But
Maybe.
yeah. That's cool.
Yeah. Then how do you make your stuff relatable to this younger crowd? Not assuming you're old, but there is some like they're pretty young. I mean, like I teach college kids, and I've been teaching for like how many years? like over 10 years. Okay, when
Okay.
I started off teaching, I mean, like, there was not much of a big age gap between me and my students, but now there's a huge. So how do you speak to them? And with like this bit of language barrier, right? No, not at all. That's good.
I don't know. I mean, I keep it pretty simple, you know, mostly for myself, so I'm not trying to like remember all these complicated Chinese vocabulary words, but it's basic stuff, you know, cultural differences, you know, my complaining about my life and being single, and you know how America is all messed up, and I don't know, it's the same formula as in English, you know, set a punchline tag, call back, and get off, but yeah, you just got to sort of adjust it to make it more relatable to the locals, but you know, at the same time, they find the same sort of things funny as we do. They got the same stress and BS to deal with as we do. So I don't know. Some of my jokes are just getting on stage and bitching about my job and being single, which is relatable to anybody, I think.
Yeah.
So.
And you did say that it's more like a rewarding.
Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely more rewarding to do Chinese shows because you know it's just me and Jesse, and it's much more challenging to do jokes in your second language. You know, that's why I give so much props to like Storm and Nora that are doing it in English, even though probably easier for them to learn English than it is for me to learn Chinese. But and they don't get you know as much credit as they should. Sort of a double standard, but I guess I'm on the I'm on the good side of that double standard, so I'm not complaining. But yeah.
Yeah. What's the biggest surprise you have ever experienced from doing Chinese comedy?
The biggest praise? I got invited on TV like 2018. Yeah, I forget exactly how the connection, who made the connection. Yeah, I got invited on a local show called Shanghai Gossip to do like some games, and then perform a short set. Then I got interviewed by Shanghai Ferris Wheel as part of SMG, just to promote Comedy United Nations, Comedy UN. Got invited to do a commercial for it was a parody commercial. No, I got to do a real commercial and then a parody commercial with a local comedy sketch show that's really famous on Bilibili. So that's like the coolest part, like getting invited to do like TV shows. Yeah, even though so far it's been like very small roles. And, yeah.
But it's good to start.
It's cool.
Off.
Yeah, it's cool seeing yourself on the big ass TV.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Amazing. Right. And then does this pandemic, I mean, like, interrupt any of your yearly plan or?
Oh yeah.
Sense?
Oh yeah. I was supposed to be in Japan right now with my parents for a holiday. Probably I was supposed to do some shows in Shenzhen last month. Yeah, of course, threw a monkey wrench in plans for this year. But things are starting to get back to normal in China. So probably come winter, be able to hit up a couple of different cities close by just to do some low-key shows. Yeah. But I miss it. I really miss, like, the best part is not just going to another city to do the show. It's like hanging out with the comics and having local food, going to the local night spots. So I miss it. It's been too long.
Yeah, it's been too long.
Yeah.
How long have you been in China for?
Just forever. I don't know.
Forever.
Long time. Maybe 10 years or something.
10 years.
Yeah.
Right. Wow. It's been an amazing journey, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. Felt like last year accomplished so much stand-up comedy-wise, and had some... My original plans for this year was to focus more on English and do some more English headliners, like around Southeast Asia, Japan, Korea. That's obviously not going to happen anytime soon. So for now, just trying to, just work on some new Chinese material, make some new videos, and yeah, I still have to do my regular job and you know, all the other normal things. But yeah.
What do you want people to take away from your videos?
Laugh.
Laugh.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Commiserate. I don't know. The last video I published was sort of just like complaining about mundane things in China, like you know, getting woken up by construction at 7 in the morning on a Saturday, and like getting bombarded with advertisements, and just like how nasty the food is and how expensive things are. And yeah, it went viral. Got like a ton of views, lots of good feedback. And I love seeing on Bilibili, you know, they got like the Danmu function, the bullet chat.
Yeah.
So I love seeing people write, "Oh, 太实在了," right? Like that's so realistic, like, so true. And that's a good mark of comedy. It's like not just a when a joke makes you laugh, but you're like, "Oh, that's so true," right?
Yeah.
So.
All right. So it gives you like different feelings from doing comedy as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what got you into doing these videos.
I was trying to get more fans so I could sell more tickets to my shows.
That's just
Yeah, and make a little bit of money.
Yeah.
You know, comedy doesn't pay much right now unless you run a club, or unless you're like one of the famous comics like Li Dan or Churza. I was like, yeah, I just want to make money. You know, yeah. Promote the shows. Get some followers. So.
Okay. Cool. So, any particular thought during this tough time?
About
anything.
About anything.
Yeah.
I just remember like the first 2 weeks of quarantine, I was like so miserable. So miserable. Yeah, just like horrifically depressed and bored and agitated and paranoid. Kept on thinking the cops were going to show up and, you know,
For what?
Drag me away to get blood tested or thrown in a gulag somewhere. I don't know. That was really bad. But I think we've seen the light. We're almost at the end. Yeah, for now.
Yeah. So, are you worried about the States in general?
Yeah, of course, man. I mean, again, as long as my friends and family are safe, you know, I can't worry about like what's happening everywhere in the States. But you know, my parents are being smart. They're just staying home as much as possible. They got a lot of wine. They got a lot of Netflix. So you know, hopefully they'll be fine. My cousins are in New Jersey. They're like a bit more exposed, you know, because they still have to work. But I don't know. Just been in touch with some friends and family on Facebook recently, just checking in, and so far everyone's okay. So,
right.
But yeah, the States is bad. A lot of people sick, a lot of people dead. The economy is going to be in a rut for a long time.
Yeah. So, what's the first thing you would like to do after when everything's all is back to normal? I mean, everywhere, not just in China.
Everywhere?
Yeah.
I would love to do a couple headliners in Shanghai and then go to Sapporo, Japan for like 2 weeks and just go snowboarding and drink beer. Yeah.
That's cool. That sounds like a good
Yeah.
plan. Yeah. Is there anything else you'd like to share with us? Promote your show.
Promote my show. I can't. All the shows we're doing now are non-existent and underground.
Yeah.
You can watch my videos on Bilibili and Shigua Video, Shigua Shirpin. And when things get back to normal and when we have legal, officially licensed shows again, then please, check my moments. Yeah. But for now, we don't have any shows. So.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Leah, do you have any questions?
I'm okay.
Okay. All right.
We're good?
So, okay. Thank you for joining us.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.